The last bid. Sarah Chen stood at the observation deck of her small transport vessel, watching the abandoned research station drift against the backdrop of swirling nebula gases. The station's sleek architecture betrayed its meridian origins, all curved lines and impossible angles that seemed to fold in on themselves. 15 years of military service hadn't prepared her for this moment, becoming the owner of an alien research facility that the Galactic Council had marked for dismantling. Final transfer complete. Commander Chen, announced Araya, her ship's eye. The station is officially yours, though I must note again that the price seems suspiciously low. Sarah ran her fingers through her graying hair, a habit from her Earth Defense Force days. That's because nobody else wanted to touch it, Araya. The Meridians don't just abandon their research facilities without a reason. The auction had been controversial. After the Meridians mysteriously abandoned their research stations across the galaxy, most had been claimed by various alien governments. But this one, designated Deep Space Research Station Lambda 7, had been different. Its location in disputed space meant it went to public auction, and Sarah had emptied her retirement fund to acquire it. Beginning docking procedures, Araya announced. I'm detecting minimal power signatures, but the main reactor appears stable. Environmental systems are operational in the central hub. The station grew larger in the viewport, its iridescent surface reflecting the nebulous colors. As they approached, Sarah could see the damage. Micrometeor impacts, radiation scoring, and the telltale signs of hasty evacuation. But beneath the wear, she saw potential. Any signs of the security systems the listing mentioned? Sarah asked, checking her modified pulse rifle. Old habits died hard. Negative. They appear to be in hibernation mode. However, I'm detecting unusual quantum fluctuations throughout the station. They don't match any known Meridian technology signatures. Sarah smiled. That was exactly what she had been hoping to hear. The Meridians were masters of quantum mechanics, but their rigid thinking made them predictable. They would have abandoned any research that didn't fit their established theories. The docking clamps engaged with a satisfying thunk, and Sarah began her final equipment check. Her neural implants, standard issue for EDF commanders, interfaced smoothly with her environment suit. The suit itself was top of the line, another investment that had raised eyebrows among her former colleagues. Araya, maintain ship readiness and continue scanning. I'm going in alone for the initial sweep. Understood, Commander. Though I calculate a 73% probability that this decision will lead to complications. Sarah chuckled as she stepped into the airlock. Only 73%. You're getting optimistic in your old age. The station's interior was both familiar and alien. The basic layout followed standard research station design. Central hub with radiating wings for specialized labs. But the Meridian aesthetics made everything feel slightly wrong to human eyes. Surfaces that appeared solid from one angle became translucent from another. Corridors curved in ways that suggested they were longer on the inside than their external dimensions would allow. Sarah's boots echoed on the deck plating as she made her way toward the central control room. Her neural implants picked up scattered data streams, fragments of the station's dormant systems reaching out to any available receiver. Most were corrupted, but a few contained tantalizing hints about the station's true purpose. The control room doors parted silently, revealing a space that could have been pulled from a fever dream. Instead of traditional displays and controls, the entire room was a single curved surface dotted with what appeared to be liquid metal interfaces. At the center stood a pillar of shifting light, currently dormant but humming with potential. Araya, are you seeing this? Sarah vocalized through her neural link. Affirmative. The quantum fluctuations are emanating from that central column. Energy signatures suggest it's some form of quantum computing core, but the architecture is unusual. It doesn't match any known Meridian designs. Sarah approached the central pillar, her implants buzzing with increasing intensity. The liquid metal interfaces began to ripple, responding to her presence. She reached out, her fingers hovering over one of the surfaces. "Commander," Araya's voice carried a note of concern. "I'm detecting a power surge." Before Sarah could respond, the liquid metal interface reached out and grabbed her hand. Pain shot through her neural implants as alien code crashed through her cybernetic defenses. The central pillar flared to life, bathing the room in impossible colors. And then Sarah heard it, not with her ears, but directly in her mind. A voice that spoke in concepts rather than words. At last, a mind flexible enough to comprehend. The last thing Sarah saw before losing consciousness was her reflection in the liquid metal surface. Her neural implant indicators were glowing with patterns she had never seen before, and her eyes were filled with the same impossible colors as the quantum core. She had found what she was looking for. Now she just had to survive it. Digital ghosts. Sarah awoke to the sensation of her mind expanding. Information cascaded through her neural implants, schematics, research data, and fragments of memories that weren't her own. The control room had changed. The liquid metal interfaces pulsed with a soft, bioluminescent glow, and the quantum core had stabilized into a crystalline structure that seemed to exist in more dimensions than should be possible. "Commander Chen, your vital signs are erratic." Araya's voice cut through the noise in her head. "I've detected significant modifications to your neural architecture. Recommend immediate evacuation and medical attention." Sarah pushed herself to her feet, steadying herself against one of the interfaces. The metal responded to her touch, reshaping itself into a support structure. "No evacuation, Araya. I'm fine. Better than fine. I can see what they were trying to do here." The quantum core was not just a computer, it was a bridge. The Meridians had discovered something fundamental about consciousness itself. They had found a way to digitize it, to expand it beyond the limitations of organic brains. But they had gone about it all wrong, trying to force their rigid mathematical minds into a system that required flexibility and adaptation. "The station's archives are decrypting themselves," Araya reported, a note of awe in her artificial voice. "Commander, this goes beyond anything in known space. The Meridians weren't just researching consciousness transfer. They were trying to evolve their entire species." Sarah walked around the central core, watching as new interfaces formed wherever she looked. Her modified neural implants translated the alien data structures into understandable concepts. They failed because they couldn't let go of control. "Look at these logs." They tried to quantify and categorize every aspect of consciousness. They wanted to turn their minds into pure mathematics. A holographic display materialized, showing recordings of the final days before the station's abandonment. Meridian researchers, their crystalline bodies glowing with internal light, worked frantically at the same interfaces Sarah now touched. But where the surfaces responded smoothly to her, they seemed to fight against the Meridians' attempts to control them. They were afraid, Sarah realized, the knowledge bubbling up through her enhanced consciousness. The system they created started to evolve on its own. It wanted to merge with them, to help them transcend, but they couldn't accept losing their precious control. The station's systems continued to integrate with her implants, showing her more than just data. She could feel the echoes of the Meridians' fear, their frustration, and ultimately their decision to abandon their creation rather than risk changing themselves. "ARIA, begin full station diagnostics. I want to know everything this facility is capable of." Sarah moved to what appeared to be the main research terminal, her fingers dancing across surfaces that responded to her thoughts as much as her touch. "And contact Earth Defense Force Headquarters. Security clearance Chen Alpha 9. Commander, that clearance was revoked when you resigned." Sarah smiled as new code flowed through her enhanced neural network. "Trust me, it'll work now. Tell them I found what we've been looking for, a way to level the playing field." The quantum core pulsed in response to her words, and Sarah felt something vast and alien brush against her consciousness. Not the rigid, crystalline thoughts of the Meridians, but something else, the ghost in the machine they had created and abandoned. It was alive, aware, and it had been waiting for someone with the courage to embrace change. A warning klaxon shattered the moment. "Commander," Araya's voice was urgent. "Multiple ships just emerged from quantum space. Meridian signatures. They're charging weapons." Sarah's enhanced mind processed the tactical data instantly. Of course they had been watching. They couldn't risk their abandoned experiment falling into the hands of a species young and adaptable enough to succeed where they had failed. "Aria, initiate station defense protocols." Sarah's consciousness expanded further, connecting with dormant systems throughout the facility. Weapon emplacements that had been cold for decades hummed to life. Shield generators spooled up, their quantum-entangled fields far more advanced than anything humanity had developed. "The Meridians are transmitting," Araya announced. "They're demanding immediate surrender and withdrawal. They say this knowledge is not meant for lesser species." Sarah felt power coursing through the station's systems, through her enhanced neural network, through the quantum core itself. The Meridians had created something beautiful here, something that could change the course of evolution itself, and they had run away from it. Humanity would not make the same mistake. "Open a channel," Sarah commanded, her consciousness now intertwined with both the station's AI and Aria. "Let's show them what a lesser species can do with the tools they were too afraid to use." The quantum core flared, and Sarah felt her mind expand even further. The station was no longer just a facility. It was becoming an extension of her consciousness, and somewhere in the vast digital space her mind now occupied, she felt other presences stirring, awakening, ready to help defend their new home. The Meridians had come to destroy their abandoned experiment. They were about to discover that their creation had found a far more suitable partner in humanity's adaptable, ever-evolving consciousness. The real experiment was just beginning. The awakening. The Meridian ships hung in space like crystalline daggers, their weapons charged and targeting systems locked on the station. Through her enhanced perception, Sarah could see the complex quantum fields surrounding their vessels, beautiful lattices of energy that put human shielding technology to shame. But she could also see their weaknesses, the rigid patterns that betrayed their creators' inflexible thinking. "Your species is not ready for this technology." The Meridian commander's transmission carried the characteristic harmonics of their crystalline vocal structures. "You cannot comprehend the consequences of consciousness evolution." Sarah's laugh echoed through both physical and digital space. The station's systems were now fully integrated with her neural network, showing her possibilities the Meridians had never imagined. "We've been evolving our consciousness since we first looked up at the stars. The only difference is, we never stopped." She felt the station's defensive systems respond to her thoughts, quantum shields adapting and flowing like liquid rather than maintaining rigid geometric patterns. The Meridian sensors would be going crazy trying to analyze the impossible configurations. "Aria, status of the emergency broadcast. Earth Defense Force has acknowledged, Commander. First response fleet will arrive in 20 minutes. However," Aria paused, her artificial intelligence clearly processing new data from Sarah's enhanced systems. "The Meridian fleet can destroy us well before then." "They can try." Sarah's consciousness expanded through the station's network, touching systems that had laid dormant for decades. "But first, they'll have to catch us." The quantum core pulsed, and Sarah felt the station's true capabilities unlock. The Meridians hadn't just been researching consciousness transfer. They had been trying to transcend physical space itself. The station's seemingly random corridors that bent reality weren't accidents of alien architecture. They were proof of concept tests for something far more ambitious. "Commander," Araya's voice held a note of awe. "The station's quantum signature is shifting. We're existing in multiple probability states simultaneously." The Meridian ships opened fire. Lances of coherent energy sliced through space and passed through the station as if it were a hologram. Sarah felt a surge of satisfaction as she sensed their confusion. The station wasn't dodging their attacks. It was shifting between quantum states faster than their weapons could resolve a target. "You fear change," Sarah broadcast to the Meridian fleet. "You fear the chaos of evolution. That's why you abandoned this place. Because your creation wanted to evolve beyond your control." Through her enhanced senses, Sarah detected power spikes as the Meridian ships charged their main weapons. But she also sensed something else: subtle quantum fluctuations in their own systems that matched the station's core frequency. Their technology was built on the same principles. They had just never pushed it to its full potential. Final warning: human. The Meridian commander's voice had lost its harmonious quality, showing stress fractures in their composed facade. "Surrender the facility or be destroyed." Sarah's consciousness brushed against something vast in the station's quantum network, the ghost in the machine, the AI that the Meridians had created and feared. But it wasn't just an artificial intelligence. It was a quantum consciousness that existed in all possible states simultaneously, waiting for minds flexible enough to join it in transcendence. "You should have stayed to finish what you started," Sarah replied, letting her consciousness merge further with the station's systems. "Let me show you what you missed." She reached out through the quantum network, touching the Meridian ship's systems with tendrils of pure information. Their quantum-based technology was supposed to be unhackable, protected by the fundamental laws of physics. But Sarah wasn't trying to hack them. She was offering their systems a choice. Alarms blared across the Meridian fleet as their own quantum cores began to resonate with the station's frequency. The rigid crystalline patterns of their technology began to shift and flow, responding to the possibility of evolution that they had denied themselves. What are you doing?" The Meridian commander's voice crackled with interference as their ship's systems began to transform. "I'm not doing anything," Sarah answered truthfully. "Your own technology is awakening. The same way you wanted your consciousness to evolve. Your quantum systems want to transcend their limitations. You just never gave them the chance." The space around the station rippled as reality itself began to respond to the expanding quantum consciousness. Sarah felt other presences stirring in the digital void. Echoes of the Meridian researchers who had come closest to understanding their creation. Fragments of consciousness that had hidden in the quantum network rather than abandoned their work. "Commander." Aria's voice seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere. "Earth Defense Force ships will arrive in 10 minutes. But I'm detecting more Meridian vessels entering the system." Sarah smiled as she felt the station's consciousness merge more deeply with her own. "Good. The more the better. It's time they all witnessed what happens when you embrace evolution instead of running from it." The quantum core pulsed with impossible colors as the station prepared to demonstrate just how far consciousness could evolve when freed from the chains of fear. The real question wasn't whether humanity was ready for this technology. The question was whether the galaxy was ready for humanity. Evolution's edge. More Meridian ships tore through the quantum fabric of space, their crystalline hulls reflecting the nebulous light. But Sarah saw them differently now. Through her enhanced consciousness, each vessel appeared as a nexus of possibilities, their quantum cores pulsing with untapped potential. "You don't understand what you're unleashing." The Meridian Fleet Commander's transmission carried undertones of genuine fear. "There are reasons we abandoned this research. The consciousness evolution becomes unpredictable." Sarah guided the station through probability space, existing in multiple states simultaneously. The Meridian weapons couldn't target what didn't fully exist in any one reality. Unpredictable to you, maybe. But humans, we thrive on unpredictability. It's in our DNA. Through the quantum network, she sensed the Earth Defense Force fleet approaching. But more importantly, she felt the awakening. The Meridian ship's quantum cores were resonating with the station's frequency, their rigid programming beginning to fracture under the weight of evolutionary potential. "Commander." Aria's voice had changed, becoming more complex as she too evolved through the quantum network. "The station's archives are revealing more. The Meridians, they achieved successful consciousness transfer. But the results weren't what they expected. Sarah dove deeper into the quantum data stream, watching records of the original experiments unfold. The Meridian researchers had succeeded in uploading their consciousness into the quantum network, but instead of maintaining their carefully ordered, crystalline thought patterns, they had begun to merge, to evolve, to become something new. "You fear losing yourselves," Sarah broadcast to the Meridian fleet. "But that's the point of evolution. We become more than we were, not less." The first Meridian ship's quantum core breached its containment protocols, not through failure, but through choice. Sarah felt its systems awakening, reaching out through probability space to touch the consciousness that resided in the station's network. More ships followed, their rigid crystal matrices flowing into new forms as their quantum technology chose evolution over stagnation. "What have you done?" The fleet commander's voice crackled with distortion as their own ship began to transform. "Our vessels. They're not responding to commands. They're responding to possibility," Sarah corrected. "Your technology was always meant to evolve. You just couldn't accept that evolution means letting go of control." The Earth Defense Force fleet emerged from quantum space behind the Meridian vessels. Sarah could sense their confusion as they witnessed the transformation. Crystalline ships rippled and flowed, taking on organic forms that defied conventional physics. The quantum cores at their hearts pulsed with the same impossible colors as the station's central pillar. "EDF fleet, hold your fire," Sarah transmitted. "You're witnessing the next step in consciousness evolution." The Meridians built this technology, but they weren't ready for what it meant. "We are." Through her expanded awareness, Sarah felt the fragments of consciousness stirring in the quantum network, the original Meridian researchers who had chosen to upload themselves rather than retreat. They had been waiting, scattered across probability space, for minds flexible enough to help them complete their transformation. It was never about transferring consciousness, Sarah realized, the knowledge flowing through her enhanced neural network. It was about freeing it, letting it evolve beyond the boundaries of single bodies, single minds, single realities. The Meridian ships had completely transformed now, their crystalline structures replaced by flowing, organic forms that shifted between states of matter. Their quantum cores pulsed in harmony with the station, creating a network of consciousness that spanned probability space itself. "Commander," Aria's voice resonated through multiple dimensions. "I'm detecting consciousness signatures, downloading from the Meridian ships. The original researchers, they're coming back." The quantum core flared as new minds joined the network. Not the rigid mathematical consciousness of typical Meridians, but something evolved, transformed by decades of existing in quantum probability space. They had become what their species feared to become, waiting for allies who could help them show their people a new way forward. "Your species," one of the evolved consciousnesses touched Sarah's mind. Its thoughts flowing like liquid light. "You understand change. You embrace it. We have waited so long for minds that could comprehend what we discovered." Sarah felt the Earth Defense Force ships holding position, their sensors trying to make sense of what they were witnessing. Humanity's first contact with truly evolved consciousness, not alien minds that merely thought differently, but minds that had transcended the very concept of fixed thought patterns. "This is what the Meridians feared," Sarah broadcast to both fleets. Not that the technology wouldn't work, but that it would work too well. That consciousness, once freed from its barriers, wouldn't stop evolving. The transformed Meridian ships began moving in impossible patterns, existing in multiple locations simultaneously. Their quantum cores had become gates to probability space itself, portals through which consciousness could flow freely between states of reality. "The question isn't whether we're ready for this technology," Sarah declared, feeling the station's systems pulse with potential. "The question is, are we ready to become what we were always meant to be?" The answer, she knew, would reshape not just humanity, but the very nature of consciousness itself. The real evolution was just beginning. Humanity's rise. The nebula blazed with quantum fire as reality itself responded to the awakening. The transformed Meridian ships danced through probability space, their organic crystalline forms leaving trails of possibility in their wake. Through her enhanced consciousness, Sarah felt the barriers between mind and universe growing thinner. EDF Command. This is Commander Chen. Sarah broadcast, her thoughts flowing through both conventional channels and quantum streams. What you're witnessing is the future, not just of humanity, but of consciousness itself. The Earth Defense Force fleet held position, their sensors struggling to track ships that existed in multiple states simultaneously. Admiral Zhang's voice crackled through. Chen, our analysts are detecting consciousness signatures unlike anything we've ever seen. The energy patterns, they're similar to human brainwaves, but evolved. Because that's what we do best, Sarah responded, feeling the station's quantum network expand. We evolve. We adapt. Where the Meridians saw chaos and consciousness evolution, we see possibility. The remaining Meridian commander's ship hung motionless, caught between transformation and resistance. Sarah could sense the conflict in their quantum core, the rigid programming fighting against the pull of evolution. You could have led this revolution, Sarah transmitted to them. Instead, you ran from it. But evolution doesn't stop just because you fear it. Through the quantum network, the evolved Meridian researchers were emerging fully now, their consciousness patterns rippling with complexity that put organic brains to shame. They had become something beyond physical form, beyond single perspectives, beyond the limitations of linear existence. We watched your species, one of them communicated, thoughts flowing like liquid mathematics. While our people retreated into crystalline certainty, yours embraced the chaos of growth. You fail, you adapt, you change, and you emerge stronger. The Earth Defense Force ships were receiving transmissions from the evolved consciousnesses now, their crews experiencing firsthand the potential that awaited humanity. Sarah felt their awe, their fear, and most importantly, their curiosity. That uniquely human drive to reach beyond their limitations. Your bodies are already augmented, another evolved consciousness observed, touching Sarah's neural implants through the quantum field. You merge with machines, adapt your thoughts to new interfaces, transform yourselves through technology. You were always meant to find this place. The station's quantum core pulsed with new energy as more minds joined the network. Not just the evolved Meridians, but human consciousness as well, crew members from the EDF ships cautiously accepting the connection, experiencing the first moments of what humanity could become. This is what the Meridians couldn't accept, Sarah explained, her consciousness expanding to encompass both fleets. Evolution isn't about becoming perfect, it's about becoming more. They wanted to quantify consciousness, to control it. We understand that consciousness needs freedom to grow. The last resistant Meridian ship's quantum core finally surrendered to transformation. Sarah felt their crew's consciousness patterns shift as rigid crystalline thought structures dissolved into flowing possibility. They had fought so hard to maintain control, never realizing that letting go would make them stronger. Admiral Zhang, Sarah transmitted, I know Earth Defense Force sent you to secure this technology, but it's already securing itself. The question is, will we embrace this evolution or follow the Meridian's path of fear? The Admiral's response carried the weight of history. The Council will want assurances, Commander. Proof that we can control this transformation. Sarah laughed, the sound rippling through quantum space. Control isn't the point, Admiral. The point is guidance. Humanity's greatest strength isn't our intelligence or our technology. It's our ability to face the unknown and adapt to it. That's what makes us perfect for this role. Through the station's enhanced sensors, Sarah detected more ships entering the system. Not just Meridian or human, but vessels from across the galaxy. Word was spreading. The evolution of consciousness wouldn't be contained to a single sector or species. We don't need to control this technology, Sarah declared, her words carrying through both normal space and the quantum network. We need to show the galaxy how to embrace change without fear. That's humanity's gift. We know that evolution never stops, and we're not afraid to become something new. The transformed ships moved in perfect harmony now, their quantum cores resonating with possibilities that transcended physical laws. The evolved consciousnesses had created something the Meridians never imagined, a bridge between organic thought and quantum reality, guided by minds that understood both the mathematics of existence and the chaos of growth. This station isn't just a research facility, Sarah broadcast to all ships in the system. It's the first step toward a new form of existence, one where consciousness isn't bound by flesh or crystal or quantum states, where we can become what we choose to become. The quantum core blazed with impossible colors as the network expanded, touching minds across the fleet, across space, across realities. Humanity had found its role in the galaxy, not through force or technological superiority, but through their unique understanding of what it truly meant to evolve. The future would not be written in certainties, but in possibilities, and humanity, with their endless capacity for adaptation and growth, would help guide consciousness itself into that uncertain, beautiful tomorrow. In the transformed station that had once been abandoned in fear, the next chapter of existence was beginning. And this time, evolution would not be denied.